Hey y'all, it's your girl Dev, broadcasting live from the couch on a Friday evening. Hope everybody else is out being safe, having fun, maybe on a date, child. But this is normally where you can find me on Friday evenings when I ain't got no man, I ain't got no date. Right here on the couch with a glass of wine, some good music, just vibing, chilling, working on stuff or nothing at all. If you are new to this whole media platform that is Dating with Dev, I want to say welcome. Some of you may be like, what is Dating with Dev? Dating with Dev is a personal narrative on culture, lifestyle, and love in the digital age. You know, I'm just trying to help us all glow and grow and figure this thing out, this love thing, this black love thing. Because I don't have all the answers. I am not Dear Abby. I'm not one of those people that's like gonna tell you your do's and don'ts. This is just about me telling you what I got going on, and maybe somebody will feel connected to it in some kind of way. They can relate to it. It makes you think about something you've never thought about or get a different perspective, right? That's the whole point of Dating with Dev. Tonight I wanted to do a recap kind of last year just a little bit, and I've been meaning to do this all year long, right? It's like first quarter still. I ain't gave y'all too much. I know you guys probably watched the girls night, which is really dope. Shout out to my boos for participating in girls night. If you haven't watched that, you should go back and watch that one. That was really cool. But I wanted to give you guys a recap of last year and talk about what's been going on, because quarter one 2018 has been bananas. Nothing that I planned for or expected. Spiritually it's been crazy. Romantically it's been crazy. So let's just rewind. 2017, let's see, the beginning of the year, I think I was like winding down talking to some guy from 2016 who I kind of wanted to see where that was maybe gonna go, but he was, you know, young, hip, creative. You know, I have a type, right? Like, I'm probably gonna do a whole thing about that. My type is, I know y'all gonna say big, fine, bearded, but yes, that is part of the criteria. However, I have a thing for creatives, like rappers, singers, songwriters, actors, directors, like, or speakers. Like, I have a thing for creatives. The thing with the creatives is they always be all over the freaking place, and they are so unpredictable. But apparently, maybe that's who I am too. But anyways, started talking to this guy, you know, in 2016. It didn't work out. 2017 was really just me kind of weaning that relationship off because he had a complicated situation, and I'm just not in the spirit of doing situationships. We trying to glow up. We not doing that old shit no more. Probably this summer, if you go back and read the post Summer Fling, I had a little boo thing. He was long distance. The vibe was crazy, like super crazy, connected, so much in common. Spiritually, I received the word that like this could be something. Like, it had a lot of potential. It had a lot of good buzz around it, but in August, he just backed out of the deal, and he just didn't want to be involved anymore. And I was definitely really down. If you guys have watched my Insta stories today and or my Facebook stories, then you will see like some of where this is, how this is connected. I told you to stay tuned for tonight because I would record tonight and give you guys like the whole tea on the situation. But yeah, that day was really like, kind of broke my heart. Like, I really was very hopeful, and I think that he was scared, and I think that it just didn't make sense. And so he backed out. And I just remember being devastated and praying about it and saying like, all right guys, 7 is the number of completion. I'm going to give him 7 months, because y'all know I got little windows for dating. You know, you got like 2 weeks if you're local to ask me on a date, 6 to 8 weeks for us to figure it out if you're kind of long distance, and then if this is a thing, you get like 6 to 9 months for this to kind of like move in the progression of being like a real relationship. And so yeah, I was like, I'm gonna give him 7 months. You know, he was in a transition with jobs and career and trying to figure himself out, just a lot of instabilities. And so I'm like, you know, if he's really who he says he is, then I want to give him 7 months to pull himself up out of bootstraps and really like show me who he is, and then also give him the opportunity to, like, you know, crap or get off the pot. In the midst of that 7 months, you know, I decided that I was going to pray for him. I wanted to pray for him because I thought it was good practice for when I become a wife. Because, you know, if you're married to someone, you have to pray for them, like, regularly. And especially when they're in, like, down seasons, because you're so connected to that person. So one, I thought it was good practice. Two, I thought it was just good spirited to pray for him as a person, not praying for us to be together, but more so just praying for his, like, well-being and, like, the things that he was able to share with me about, like, the different deficits in his life, praying for those things, you know, for him during that 7 month season, right? In that time, I started talking to 2 other guys who were also long distance. The crazy thing is, none of these guys have been like strangers, you know. They weren't guys that just met out on the street. These were guys who I was cool with, who kind of like always had this like secret crush or interest, and they decided that they wanted to pursue it and like tell me about it. So the first guy, I thought it was gonna work out pretty good, you know, pretty employed, very relationship oriented, divorced, wants to be married again, but par for the course, he just wouldn't get his shit together. He wouldn't move the needle forward. We were supposed to link up at homecoming, and he totally like disappeared. It was like a family crisis, but like I didn't get any details. It was a family crisis till like after the day that he was trying to see me. And a lot of my life in 2017 has been about trimming the fat, like in friendships, in love, in other distractions. It's just been cutting the fat. Like, if you don't serve me, I know that where I'm going up. And so everybody can't go with me. And I've had to be okay with cutting off relationships that don't service me. And I'm trying to learn how to trust my own judgment. I think like sometimes as women, we don't know that. Like, we don't trust our decisions. We get so caught up in like, well, I just want to make sure I'm not like cutting this off too soon. Screw all that. When you see the red flags, the yellow flags, the orange flags, whatever, you need to cut that off and let's just move on. My rule of thumb is typically, if I have to question it, if it makes me slightly uncomfortable, I just throw the whole thing away, because my gut doesn't really mislead me about things. And so that whole thing with him not like showing up to homecoming, I just thought it was iffy. We've been too hype about seeing each other for like months, and then this nigga just doesn't show, and like it's just texting, and it was just whack, and I didn't feel like giving him a second chance, so I didn't, and that was that. This other guy tried to like make time to see me at homecoming and wanted to go on like dates. I had a good little hey big head team, hey. But anyways, that conversation went pretty good for a little bit, and then I just realized that I wasn't feeling him. He just wasn't really my type, and I'm kind of ashamed because he's probably gonna watch this, but he wasn't really my type. And there were some other things that I kind of picked up that I just was like, I don't think this is going to vibe well. So that all ended about December. I'm going into this new year like load free, F these ninjas. I'm just gonna do my thug thizzle, and I don't know, I just wasn't really pressed about a relationship, and I think I was also still kind of holding hopes that this other brother would get his stuff together. So we would periodically like touch bases, and it started to feel kind of one-sided. I was mostly the one that was reaching out, I'll admit that, but the conversation would go both ways kind of, and he was going through a lot, and you know, we would talk about things I was like praying for him for, things that were going on, and you know, it was crazy because everything I was praying for was happening in his life, and even the hard stuff was like happening, and I just thought that was so amazing. So then January rolls around, and I meet this man, and if y'all again follow me on Insta, y'all got to see that I was going out on dates, and he was a manly man. He was that, like, when I met him, it was kind of crazy because I met him out here in Dallas. He actually spoke to me. You know, that's like, that'll never happen. He actually approached me, and he was very handsome. And I'm trying to think how to describe this without telling all this man's business, because the world is real, real small. Let's see. We had lots. Let's just say we had a lot in common. And again, spiritually, I was like, I wasn't getting any red flags, because normally I get that like controlling, abusive about guys, or suspicious. And I didn't get that. I did not get that vibe at all. So we were out on the dance floor, or I saw him when he walked in. I'm standing there doing my own little thing. I was at this spot. It was plenty of brothers that night. And I was like, it's too many brothers that I've never met before, never seen before in some of these like little venues. It's a lot of ladies in here. I'm gonna get chose. I knew that for a fact. So I saw him come in, and I'm like doing my own little thing, and he was standing kind of next to me. But I was watching him observe everybody, and I was like, you know, I had no problem with being assertive. If I like you and I think you're cute, I might just be like, hey, how you doing? And that night I was feeling like I might have to be the one to be like, hey, how you doing? So I started to, but my spirit said, don't do it. And so I was like, all right, cool. So I didn't approach him. So I'm still dancing, doing my own little thing, my little two-step, and I turn around and he's looking at me. And so I kind of smiled. He was like, he said something to me about like dancing and stuff, and I kind of kiki, and I turn back around, I keep doing my thing. Then Lucini comes on, and anybody that knows me knows it's like my favorite childhood rap song. And Lucini comes on, and I'm like rapping all the words to it, and he's like, girl, how old are you to know this? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, I was like, how old are you? Because he looked kind of young too, and he was kind of my type. He wasn't big as in like tall big, but he was thick, handsome, and bearded. So so I was like, okay. So we started chopping it up, you know. The conversation was really good. Again, we found out we have so much in common. It just like, he hadn't been in Dallas for maybe like a year. It was just, it was cool, and he wanted to take me out on a date. He started buying me drinks, all that stuff. So it was a good night. If y'all saw my Insta stories, y'all know all about that night. Well, immediately thereafter, he like, I get home, he texts me, and he's like, you know, saying how he wants to like kidnap me or whatever. And I was like, well, is it kidnapping if I want to go? And he was like, Devin, I'm a man's man. Let me hunt. You're going to have to resist a little bit. I said, well, I didn't say I was going. And he goes, that's more like it. So then he calls me, and he's like chopping it up and stuff. So on the front end, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, one of the things I really liked was that he said in the phone, he was like, hey, listen, I'm not that new school kind of dating thing. He was like, I'm old school, like I'm traditional. I, you know, want to hunt, like I want to chase you. He's like, the chase is what keeps me interested. And he was like, I know that sometimes it gets confusing with our age group, you know, whether they old school or new school. He was like, I'm telling you, I'm like old school, like I want to lead, I want to whatever, so just stay out my way. So I was thinking, okay, that is really sexy. I'm finna let you lead. What I really loved about it was the fact that he was so upfront. And, you know, I'm big on setting expectations and talking about expectations and dating styles. I was reading one of my old posts about like dating styles and how you need to talk about these things early on. And so I was really impressed with the fact that he was able to do that. So he asked me out. Fast forward, he asked me out on the first date, or meet up. I don't know. I guess it was a date. It was a date. He was really cute because he was like, you know, I'm still relatively new to the area, so I'm gonna let you. I want you to pick the place because, you know, I don't really know things, but I don't want you to feel like you're gonna be the one planning our dates. Like I'm good with planning our dates. And I was kind of like, okay, cool. And I'm not alpha female, but I'm definitely very assertive. Like I'm independent. I'm not that like I don't need no man, independent, but I do. I've been single forever. Like majority of my adult life I've been single. I've been in situationships, but I ain't been married. Even when you dating, you single. Shout out to my homegirl, Dee Brownlee. Her daddy used to say, what you filing on your taxes? I I'm filing single. So therefore I'm single. They don't ask if you're dating, they ask if you're single or married. So I was about to say, but yeah, I have to take care of myself. I normally have to make all my own decisions. So in my mind, the thought of somebody else making decisions for me seems like it would be something I wanted. Like I thought that's what I wanted. I wanted somebody to like take over and make these decisions, and that's just one less thing I have to plan and manage, and like that would be dope. Remember, I thought that's what I wanted. So I picked a place the first night. We go out. It was pretty cool. He was cool, but he was socially awkward. And he said, he was just very direct. Like, I don't need no more homegirls. I'm pretty sure you don't need no more homeboys. You know, that's not what this is. I want to get to know you. I wanted blah, blah, blah. You know, I told him about being abstinent. I just told him about a lot of stuff. And we talked for like a couple hours, and it was really cool. And there was definitely that physical chemistry. Now, the one thing that threw me off, now I went live about this, I think, on Facebook, was this brother said he don't like kissing. I'm the makeout queen. And I was kind of thrown off by that. What you mean? Like, that is like foreplay. Like, nigga, what is that? What is we gonna do? If I'm having sex with you, how else I'm gonna like get some enjoyment out of this? Like holding hands and hugging? That was weird. Like, literally my soul was crushed, y'all. And I think he could tell it. Like, we were sitting face to face in a coffee shop, and when he said it, and I like, my whole body language just shifted, because I was like, this is weird. And even after that date, I kept bringing it up, and he just kept being like, well, that's just who I am. Like, well, kind of. The other part to it was, well, for my lady, I will do whatever. If she says she like me to wear a cowboy hat to bed, like if that's what my babe likes, that's what babe's gonna get. So if it's gonna turn you on for me to shove my tongue in your mouth, then that's just what you gonna get, kind of thing. Okay, cool. Again, he was in his 30s, single, never married, no kids, loved Jesus, employed, smart, college educated, had a decent family background. Like, yeah, like I thought I was on to something. So we go on a couple dates, and it was good at first, but then I started to feel this like very strong energy of control. And I couldn't figure it out if it was him controlling him or him trying to figure out how to control me. And then one night we have a pretty awkward moment. He invites me. We were texting back and forth. It was kind of late. And he asked me what I was doing. I asked him if I was going to see him, because we hadn't really talked. It was a Saturday. And he was like, well, yeah, I was planning on. He's like, I was going to surprise you and tell you to just throw some clothes on and come meet me. You know, blah, 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 or like, let's get together. And I was like, okay. And he was out and about. He was about 45 minutes away. And so he was like, but I do want to see you. I'll hit you up when I leave this thing. I said, okay, cool. So I was in the middle of something. I was at my sister's house doing laundry or something like that. And he calls maybe like an hour later and was like, hey, I'm leaving this thing. Don't you want to get together? I was like, yeah, cool. I should be home in like 30 minutes. So in the time of me like leaving her crib, going home, I texted him, and I was like, it was probably about like, excuse me, like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm like, give me like 30 minutes like to pull my shit together. I'm just walking in the door. And I said, well, do you want to come get me? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. I was like, were you trying to come get me? He was like, yes. And I said, are you sure? Because we live 30 minutes apart. And I'm like, are you sure you know where I live? Are you, you know, you're sure you're okay with that? He said, yes. This all be a text. I'm like, all right, bet. So he comes and scoops me up. It takes him a little while. So I just want you guys to hear this, because I'm waiting to hear everybody's feedback on this date, right? So he picks me up. He's drinking a Red Bull. Okay, so that says to me you're a little tired, which was cool, because I was tired. I really could to go to bed, but I wanted to be in his presence. I wasn't going to ask any questions. I was just going to get in the car. Whatever he had planned was cool. I know he likes hole-in-the-wall spots, so I thought maybe he'd take me to a hole-in-the-wall. But to be honest, if we just rode around or whatever, it didn't matter to me. I was just happy to be with my new little boo thing. So I get in the car. He takes me to, he said, well, get in the car. He has a Red Bull. Then he says, I got kind of lost. I didn't realize you lived this far north. So I'm like, okay. Well, he's like, well, you know, I really wasn't trying to be this far out of pocket, you know. They say it's like a hookah spot around here. You want to go by there? And I was like, sure. Now, I only smoke hookah with others. That's not really my zhuzh. I don't have to do that. So he was like, yeah, it's literally 5 minutes. So I was like, oh yeah, I kind of know where it is. I've heard about it. He was like, okay, well, you just tell me how to get there. So I tell him how to get there. We pull up to the place. He's like, I don't really feel like smoking hookah tonight. I was like, okay, that's not a problem, whatever. So we go inside. He said hookah's not really his thing. I was like, well, I heard they play trap music on Saturdays anyways. Well, he don't like trap music either. So I'm kind of like, I don't know how this is going to work. But we go to the little place. He's like, I just, you know, want to be in your company. So we get there. We open up the menu. We open up the little menu. And the hookahs were like $16. Now, I don't know where y'all live, but hookahs, every city I've ever been to have been like 30 and up, like maybe 20, 25 if you're on a good night. So $16 for like a basic hookah flavor was like a really good price. So this nigga starts bitching about the prices. Now I'm still trying to let him be the man and lead. So I'm just sitting there being quiet. He going through the menu of the stuff. I mean, I don't really want to do this. I mean, I don't really want to smoke. I ain't into smoking like that. I mean, these prices are kind of high. And I was like, well, what are they? Because I saw one side of the menu where they had the $40 one. Then I'm looking in the center where I'm thinking, he looking, it's like $16.99. So I'm like, okay. I said, well, you know, hey, it's whatever you want to do. This is me trying to fall back and let him leave. He was like, well, we don't have to get that. Well, then it was a $5 drink minimum or $5 minimum. So we ordered some and it was BYOB, and we didn't bring no liquor, and they don't serve no liquor. So we have to buy these $5 frozen drinks. So we're sitting there and I'm vibing and I'm kicking it. The whole time he's sitting there like the Ice King, like not dancing, not moving, not making no conversation. So I'm just still doing my own little thing because, you know, I'm an extrovert. It don't take much to entertain myself. So I'm doing my own little thing. Finally, I look and I'm like trying to make conversation with him. And I'm like, I'm not going to let him bring me down. He seems kind of off. He was like, oh, I'm just really tired. You know, I think I'm starting to get into my only child thing where, you know, I don't really want to be, I've just been around people. You know, I'm introverted. And so I've been around people the last like 2-3 days. And I'm just so tired and blah, blah, blah. So now I'm starting to feel pissed because you asked me out. We didn't have to come here. You don't like trap music. You're halfway complaining about that. You was bitching about coming to my side of town. Now you're here talking about how you don't want to be around people and you're really tired. So now my blood pressure's starting to go up and I'm trying not to be ugly, but I was freaking pissed. So, because it was just awkward, and to me it was kind of inconsiderate, in addition to the fact that as a single woman who works and pays for all her own stuff, I don't like going places and being restricted. This is the second time he had taken me out and was acting funny about money. I'm okay with paying for myself, but if that's going to emasculate you, what you want me to do? Like, I don't want to go out and I gotta suck my thumb because we gotta work around your finances. Like, then don't pick places that you haven't researched, or just let me pay for my own stuff. So I start getting pissed. I'm trying to calm down. Then he starts telling me where he could have taken me, and I'm like, my nigga, my car works. If you didn't want to drive, he was like, well, you told me to come get you. That's what I said. I asked you if you wanted to come this way. You said okay. I could have met you in the city and we could have gone to do whatever it is that you wanted to do. So at this point, I real life have an attitude now because I would have rather gone to the hole in the wall spot. So I think he knew he pissed me off. And on the cool, I really do think that he was pissing me off on purpose because he wanted me to rescue him. And he wanted me to be like, you know what, you can just take me home. Because that would have been just up his alley. And that would have been a good excuse to like, for him to leave and go home. Why was he doing that shit? You a grown ass man. If you don't like something or you don't want to be somewhere, you just need to say, I'm ready to go home. Or, hey, boo, I just wanted to sit and chop it up with you, whatever, whatever. And I would have been fine with that. So, anyways, we leave the little spot. We was only there. Oh, he makes some little short remark like, well, we ain't got to stay here all night. I said, well, I'm ready when you're ready. And so we get into the car. He drives me around the corner to my house. And I'm fucking pissed. Now, usually when we are together, I don't text. And I'm on the phone texting. I'm hitting up my best guy friend. I'm hitting up my non-dating boo thing. I don't know him, my boo thing. I don't know what to call him. I'm hitting up my non-dating friend. And I'm trying to see what both of them are doing because I need to get out. I'm hungry. I want to go hang out. I'm like, we got to do something else. So we pull up in the parking lot and he kind of sits there. And I didn't know if he was waiting on GPS or doing the gentlemanly thing to see if I was going to like, go upstairs. And I do remember like halfway slamming his door because I was 38 high. I decided I'm going up to my apartment. I'm getting in my car and I'm gonna pill out and I want you to figure out where I'm headed. And that's exactly what I did. I was being real petty. So I got in the car, burnt out on him. Like we going down the same little 2-lane street. Ski skirt, pull up to the stop sign, don't even look his direction, peel all the way out on him. So I'm hot the whole way, finna go eat some Thai food, meet my homeboy. I text the dude. I didn't mean to. Well, I started the text, but I didn't know I had sent it because I had to go to the bathroom when I got to the restaurant. So I had started, and apparently I sent it. So when I got out the stall, he had texted back, and all I had texted that I'm like, I'm high key kind of mad because I try to do good about communicating with others where I feel or how I feel and where I stand. So he texts back something like, I didn't say you couldn't come with me. I don't think so. First of all, I thought you said you was going home because you was tired. Second of all, but you didn't say I could come with you or like meet you wherever else. And that's why I texted back. I was like, you didn't say I could. He was like, Mama, don't start. Okay, you know what? I flipped the phone over. So I'm having dinner with my homeboy and I'm trying to explain to him like what happened and why I'm so hot. He gave me the eyebrows like, this don't sound too good, but I ain't gonna tell you to cut the whole thing because I know you crazy. You cut it off at the knees. But my spirit didn't feel good about it. I just didn't like the way that made me feel. I don't know if y'all recall that time I was on that date with that guy and he would let me out his car. And I had to like negotiate for my life in order to like get out. And then I just didn't like the way he made me feel about wanting to leave a venue when I was ready. You took me out. I'm exhausted. I say I'm ready to go home and you make a big thing about it. Like he was pissed. And so this was kind of how I felt. Like this was another nigga throwing a temper tantrum. Another man throwing a temper tantrum. I did not like that. I didn't like the way it made me feel at all. But I'm trying to give this thing a chance and I'm trying to stretch myself. So I'm trying to communicate this thing through. Dude calls me while I'm at dinner with my homeboy. My homeboy makes me laugh as soon as I answer the phone. This Negro answers the phone. Oh, you ain't that mad. Call me later. It's like, what? Call me later. I hung up the phone. So I call him when I get in the car. I kid you not. This is the biggest red flag of all time. He starts gaslighting me. He starts talking to me in a very condescending voice. What I'll say is we have similar professions. And so he started like, he actually sent me a text message that was pretty passive aggressive. And he used the LOL, but he was being real nice nasty, so I didn't understand it. And I asked him, what did he mean? You know what I mean. Don't act like you stupid. If you start acting like you're dumb, you're gonna really start to piss me off. Blah blah blah. And I was like, he was like, you hip, you understand? I was like, I don't understand. That's why I'm asking. No, you understand, you understand. Don't act like you don't understand. Then, well, so what is it, Devin? Why are you so upset? What has you so angry tonight? What didn't you blah blah blah? So then he starts trying to make it seem like I'm making these things up. Like I just am blowing this way out of proportion. I'm all in my feelings. I misunderstood. It's my miscommunication. Y'all, I was just sitting on the phone like, this can't be life. Why am I putting up with this? And then I think he could tell by my tone that I wasn't going along with the gaslight. So finally he like pushes back, and then he starts talking more sensibly. We end the conversation by meeting at a mutual ground of like, moving forward. His whole thing was like, I guess I could have asked you, or I could have told you and communicated with you. He said the reason he came to pick me up was because it was late at night, and he wanted to make sure I was going to be safe, because as a man, you know, and I'm his girl, we're dating or whatever, that, you know, he didn't want me riding around out that late. Me, bro, I ride around out late all the time. Like, I know this city like the back of my hand. I be in these streets, sir. You met me out in these streets late at night. Don't play with me. And so I told him I just thought it was very inconsiderate to not consider me. Like, you didn't give me the opportunity to be empathetic to your situation. You show up tired, trying to be nice and be gentlemanly, but your attitude sucks. And then you think I'm not supposed to feed off that energy, or I'm not supposed to respond to that energy, and it's selfish of me to take your statement that you were being introverted and only child moment, and you didn't want to like be around people. I took that personally, and that was my fault. I was like, yeah, I don't really know how this is gonna work. So that whole incident clouded 3-4 weeks of like awesomeness. And when I say like the things that really stood out about him was like he talked like he was very spiritually connected, but it was always this mystique. And I told him, I'm like, it's like you have this box and you open it up and you let a little dust out and you close it, and then you open it up and you let a little few things out and you close it. And he was just so rigid about certain things that I kept telling him, you're hiding something. And my spirit kept saying he had this spirit of anger that was like really scary, and I think I didn't really see it until that night, or get a glimpse of it. And so anyways, like, it was just weird because I felt really connected to him and I didn't really understand. And so we ended up having had this whole conversation about like things that he's battling spiritually and like where he is. And lo and behold, anger was one of those things. And but it just felt like it was just hard to like let go of that situation. But that was something that I really had to, you know. It was tough because all of my friends that I was having conversations with, I didn't say friends like that, but my friends that I was having conversations with, they were trying to get me to like stay in this relationship, because I think my friends want me to be happy and they want me to be in a relationship that makes sense and is fitting. You know, he and I had similar professions, we had similar hobbies and that kind of thing, but I just didn't see where it was gonna, I didn't think it was gonna work. My spirit just was vexed and it was stuck, and I just couldn't move forward. Like, I just couldn't. And I was in a tough place. Like, I was second guessing myself. I wasn't sure, and I wasn't trusting my gut instincts. And my friends were trying to talk me into like playing it out, but my gut just kept saying it's not worth it. You know, you cut off old dude that like sent you off for homecoming for less things, you know what I'm saying, because it just didn't feel right. You cut off that other guy because it just didn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Why are you second guessing it? And I think that we had already created like a soul tie of some sort. I think that we had really shared a lot of things and connected in a lot of ways that like it was just really intense. And I think it was like a transference of energy, which was really weird, because the way that I responded to him that night is the way that he described his level of anger. And I really just started to I knew that wasn't right. Like, I haven't been crazy black girlfriend in a long time, and I felt like crazy black girlfriend. Like, I felt like I was about to spaz out, and it was something so minor that normally I'm more balanced to handle, and I couldn't balance it, and I didn't know why. And I had to figure out how to cut ties with that relationship. And he doesn't know the name of the blog. He knows I have a blog, but I would never tell him the name of it. He doesn't follow me on any social media. I never told him that information, but I'm not really that hard to find either. So if he wanted to know, he probably could find me. But I tried to ghost him, y'all. I know I said we was leaving ghosted in 2017, but I didn't know how to break it off. Like, I didn't know what to say. It was just too intense. Like, it was too much. It was just way too much. But you know, one thing that I'm learning is that from dating, I don't need a macho man. He was really supportive in a lot of ways. Like, he let me be manic and crazy and neurotic and over the top, and he was calming in being able to balance that out, which I think was one of those supportive or like good qualities that made it really hard to walk away, because there were some really good things. I think where I was really second guessing it was, is the anger thing something that you're okay with, or is it something that you're working on? Because I know nobody's going to be perfect. All saints were once sinners, but it's one of those things of like, I don't want to, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk of whatever? And one of the things that really was a huge red flag for me was the like double-mindedness. The fact that I could not make a decision. I'm very decisive. I don't negotiate. I don't consult a whole lot of other people about the decisions that I make. By the time my friends call me about somebody, what happened to so-and-so child, I had to kick him to the curb. It's a done deal. And for this, the fact that I was going back and forth, the fact that I was not trusting my instincts, the fact that I was not trusting my judgment, the fact that I was considering exposing myself to some very dangerous, volatile, very strong vibes, was like, have you lost your mind? Something about this isn't right. You got your... In therapy, we teach DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. And we talk about wise mind, emotion mind, logic mind. And I literally, my emotion mind was like, try it out. Maybe it's not so bad, but it feels weird. And my emotional mind was all over the place. My logic mind was, stick to your principles. What works for you? What's your standard? What's kept you safe to this point? If you have to second guess it, cut the cord. Let's move on. And wise mind is when you put the emotion mind and logic mind together. And I just had to use wise mind, that although I feel really connected to him and I feel like there could be something really cool there, I also feel that it's pretty dangerous, and my logic mind says that he's showing me signs of somebody that's abusive, and he can tell me anything. He's like, oh, I don't hit women, I don't throw things up against the wall, that's not what it looks like, but my energies are telling me something else. And I just had to trust my gut, and nobody could counsel me on that, and none of my friends could help me think through that, because they couldn't feel what I feel. And I think that sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to go by our gut feeling. It ain't gonna always make sense. It don't seem like it's that big of a deal to them, but they don't feel what you feel. So I had to cut that brother off. Again, I use Lent as my transition away. So I'm gonna have to make an announcement on Easter, because this brother told me that although he didn't like it, he would be willing to not be a distraction all of Lent, and that he would just holler at me Easter. So I'm gonna unblock his number for Easter, and I'm just gonna tell him that Jesus said no. And when Jesus says no, nobody can say yes. Is that how that song goes? No, wrong song. Okay, but anyways, so that was that. That was really hard. That's been a very hard couple of weeks of trying to process and disconnect from and really wrap my mind around, because it's been a long time. I mean, even with the summer fling guy, I thought that was a pretty strong connection, but this was really strong, and I didn't know what to make of it, and I just could only do the logical thing, which was walk away. Like, just walk away if something's not right, and if I have to keep digging, then I just gotta move on. So I was totally prepared to continue to go through this Lent season without talking to any men, and kind of falling back from talking about things to people, and like continuing to unplug folks from me, because I'm going into my Jesus year in less than 30 days, and I'm trying to get my ultimate glow up, and I've just been disconnecting myself from folks who I feel like suck all of my light out of me. I think they like to plug into my outlet, but they not put nothing back into the grid. And so here comes Summer Fling. I think I started it after did I initiate? I don't remember. Maybe I did. I don't know. After kind of calling things off with dude, somehow Summer Fling and I started talking again, and he started it, kind of. He just opened up about all the stuff that's been going on in his life, and we talked for a couple days, and then a week goes by and we talk a couple more days, and then like last week I think we FaceTime for like 6 hours, and in the course of those 3 or 4 conversations I asked him if he was seeing anybody, and he was like, no, you know, women won't get serious, they won't make up their minds, they want me for how they want me, but they're just going through all this stuff. And he said he wasn't. Well, when we had our 6-hour FaceTime, you know, I told him about the guy that I was dating and all the red flags and all the stuff that went on with that. And we talked about his life, and we talked about his career and all these other things. Well, I knew that 7 months from August was March. I just didn't remember the date that I wrote it in my prayer journal. So I knew that I needed to back off, because my whole thing was, Lord, I don't want to touch it. Like, I don't want to touch it too much that I try to force it to be something. Like, I need full on clarity, hands off. Lord, I just want it to be you type deal. Like, I need to know for sure, like, come 7 months to the day, not even today, come 7 months, I need to know, is it somebody I need to continue to hold out for, or is it somebody I need to move away from? And so yeah, last week we talked about these things, and I started to call him this week. I started to text him to follow up on our conversation, because we were talking about projects, and he's also creative. So I was talking about him starting this project or whatever, and I meant to follow up, but something in my spirit kept being like, don't call him. Don't call him, don't reach out, let that nigga live, and let him do his own thing. So I didn't call. And then this morning, I looked into a text message from a number I didn't know, and it said, good morning, Dev. Something. Y'all have to go on Instagram and Facebook stories to see it, but it was like, good morning, Dev, some. I always try to keep it straight with you. I've been dating this woman, and things look like they're getting serious. What the freak else did he say? Things look like they're getting serious, and I guess he just wants to let me know, and like, I'm one of his closest friends, and you know, he could totally understand if I didn't want to be friends anymore, but that would suck though, because he really looks forward to my advice, and I've been such an integral part of his like personal growth, and just take my time to like text him back or whatever, and you know, I just really hope that you'll still be praying for me. You know, I hope I get a chance to hear from you. First of all, I had to read it like 4 times to figure out who it was, because he didn't ever say his name, and again, the number wasn't saved, so I had no idea who I was talking to for like the first 3 reads. Then it clicked. So I'm like, it's March. Let me go look at my prayer journal. And so I go and look at my prayer journal, and it was exactly August 8th. So this was March 9th at 5 a.m. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Because I've really been praying for God to like let me know, and clearly, plainly, and also for God to like show me some things, like, whoa. And so to get this text message 7 months and 5 hours from when this all went down was mind-blowing to me. I don't think it's a coincidence. You can call whatever you want to. It was not a coincidence for me. And I wasn't even mad, y'all, because another thing that dating is teaching me is that, oh, his excuse is that we could have been more. That's what it was. You know, you're one of my closest friends, and I know we could have been more, but, you know, the long distance thing or whatever. This was the same song that I always get with dudes that I connect with. If it's not the distance, it's just this other thing that they won't commit to. I'm always this dope, amazing, wonderful, like, influence in their life or support to them. And I used to feel really guilty about like cutting off the relationship and wanting to like, I needed to remain friends with them, because like if you're loving somebody unconditionally, you should still be there and still be supportive of them. But I'm grown, and I've grown, and I'm not subscribing to that. You know, you don't get your cake and eat it too. If you have a choice between a chick that prays for you, that you know prays for you, and the prayers work, and if they're manifesting in your life, and this person has been an integral part of your personal growth, you willing to throw that away, and you're friends, and you're super close, and y'all talk about everything almost, and you willing to leave that alone because you want to talk to a chick that's closer? The only thing that makes sense to me is that she doing all that, but she local. So then that just makes sense. But if it's not, you the dumbest dude around. To me, that's stupid. That's crazy. Like, who's going around praying for people these days? And I ain't trying to use that as like the bargaining chip, but I'm just saying, like, for real, if somebody told me they was praying for me, and I know that like we're having these conversations and things that we're praying about, and we talking about devotionals, and we reading stuff together, if she ain't feeding your spirit like that, whatever. And I'm not here to try to, I will not be a competition, and I deserve more. You do not get to have your cake and eat it too. You just don't. Not with me, not these days. Not as good as my love is. You're not gonna be half-assing it with me. Either you on or you off, my nigga. And this was just true evidence that you're off. And because even if the whole long distance thing is your cover, and like maybe you're just not that into me or whatever, first of all, the whole thing about the text message was one-sided. Second of all, you text me. You didn't call me. You texted me. Who does that? I ain't even mad though. That's the funny part. Like, I used to be hurt. Young Dev used to be like, why does this always happen to me? I'm never the chosen one. You know, I'm always this great girl that they don't, whatever. Mature Dev is like, good riddance to bad rubbish. Let me cut all this dead weight. And that means, no, we can't be friends. So, you know, I put the poll up about be peaceful or be petty. And I chose peaceful because I love him. I think he's amazing. I think he is going to be an amazing artist once he finally gets his art out. I think that he has a lot of dope ideas. I think that he has a lot of cool manly qualities that like other young black men need to see and take note from. But I also know that he has a lot of things he needs to work on, and one of them is risk. You know, one of the things I'm learning as I grow spiritually is that the human experience can always undo destiny. Like, what's that movie, like Sliding Doors, where it's like those small decisions like change the course of whatever. And I feel like that with relationships. Sometimes as people we get so caught up in what makes sense. Like, we take these calculated risks of like, well, are all the pieces here before I leap? And so if you won't take a risk on me that I meet the rest of the criteria of a sure thing because of distance, or because financially you don't think that the long distance relationship makes sense, or whatever, then you're not, that means you're not going to take risks in other parts of your life. So the other thing I'm learning is not only do I not need the macho man, I also don't need a brother that's scared to take risks, because everything about my life is risky. Everything about being a free spirit means that at some point I'm gonna have to leap, and if I leap, I don't need you to snatch me back with your worries and your fears and like block me from going and being the best Dev in the whole world that I can be. And I don't want to always have to like push you off the ledge because you're too scared to take the risk. You know, that becomes dead weight. That becomes very heavy for me. And so I'm cool with it. Like, if I'm not worth the risk, then that's indicative of like your ability to judge a good thing. And I say that because sometimes God will put people in your life that will elevate you. Like, if I'm going up and you're connected to me, you're probably gonna go up too. And I ain't saying you're gonna go up with me forever, but you're gonna get the trickle down effect of my blessings, because you're connected to those kinds of people. You don't, he because it didn't make sense, he could be missing out on, he is missing out on something really, really amazing, because I have a lot of skill sets that really fill in the gaps for the things that I feel like he's lacking. But I think the other thing that I'm learning is I can be a fixer, and I also need somebody that's going to pour into me. And the other part of that was he was draining me. Like, he was plugged into the socket and he was taking all my light, but he wasn't feeding anything back in. He started out doing that, but I think at the place where he is in his life, he's not in a position to feed into me, like, or he doesn't think that he can, or I feel my light is so bright and his is kind of dim that he doesn't feel like he can give anything to me, so he doesn't. And I need more. Thank you, Courtney. I need more. I need more. I'm gonna get more. I deserve more. I'm not gonna settle. So, 3 things. I don't need a macho man. I don't need an alpha male. I don't need that at all. I really want somebody that is going to be, you can only lead me once you know me. I do want somebody that wants to take the time to get to know me, the person that's really going to be supportive of me. I don't want a doormat either. So it's not like an either or thing. I don't want to run over somebody, but you know, I'm okay with you leading once you understand like what you're leading, who you're leading. You know, just a blind inconsideration, because that's what men do, is plan stuff. You don't even know what I like. You're not even trying to get a chance to like really understand me as a whole human being. You're just going off of like gender expectations, you know, based on something somebody's told you. I'm a whole entire person with thoughts and feelings and considerations, and I'm super empathetic and compassionate and understanding and nurturing, that I can balance all of that out for myself. I don't need you to try to balance and figure out things for me. Don't need that. I don't need brothers that can't take a risk. What was the third thing? I don't even remember now. It's too much wine. Hold on. I just said the third thing. Y'all going to rewind it and find it. But yes, those are things that I'm learning about dating. And it's just March of 2018, the beginning of March at that. I'm really excited about what this year has in store, because I think the more I continue to like clean out the closet and I keep meeting these tests of, you know, my judgment and my ability to let go of the things that I want in order to receive the things that I deserve. I think the more I keep like passing those tests, that means I'm gonna get what I deserve and what I don't want to say old, but like definitely the love that I want and really, really, really desire to have, because I can't hold on to like all this old rubbish and all these bad habits and think that I'm gonna attract something new, because all they do is see all them old habits and all that old stank energy, and they keep coming right on back with the shenanigans. So I have to continue to figure out how to like grow and glow and change things and elevate, so that I meet somebody that vibrates on a higher frequency. You know, somebody that's super spiritually connected and that really understands where they're headed and where I'm headed, and just wants the best for me, because I'm the most giving, loving, cheerleading chick on the planet. Like, bruh, I keep saying, you want to be Superman? Bruh, I'm going to sew the cape, my nigga. Look, I'm ironing on the S on the chest. I'm buying the boots, the belt. You want leggings, you want sweatpants, like how you want to do this. Like, I'm team my man, whoever that is. And I'm just, it's time, like it's beyond time for me to find somebody that's team Biff. And I'm just not gonna accept anything short of that. Nope. That's it. So, I don't know. Was that like 2 hours? I don't know. Like, I feel like I've been talking for like ever. I don't watch like 5 of Courtney's songs go by, and I have no idea what time it is. But I definitely wanted to share and get everybody caught up, because I think it's been such an eventful and knowledgeable 7 months for me, that I've had so much experience and exposure, and I just always want to teach through experience. 2018, Dating with Dev as a brand. We'll be doing more events. So if you need me to come to your city with the exchange, I'm really looking forward to doing that. The relaunch party is next month. Check out the flyers and the Eventbrite for that. We're going to be doing a lot of dope things. And so I'm looking forward to blessing y'all with this energy and these conversations and connecting, and where we sit around and we talk about these different topics, and y'all tell me what y'all think about the content. Please like, share, comment, follow, subscribe to the website, so you get the posts as soon as they come up. And definitely follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I got a Twitter, I don't use it, but it's Dating with Dev if y'all just want to go find that too. But I love you guys. I'm exhausted and I got more hair to do, so I will holler at y'all later.